Yo, yo, boxing aficionados. What's up? What's going on? Hey, yo, check this out, man. Just want to make this video. Don't know if it's going to be brief. Well, it has to be brief, so I've got to go. But this video is about the incredible precision that Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez finds himself right now, today. And what a chance to redeem an entire career. His chance at his opportunity for redemption, for validation, is man, it's inexplicable how the tide has turned in favor of Zurdo Ramirez, and of course he has to capitalize on it in order for the tide to keep going his way and ultimately take him to the lofty perches that I guess all boxers aspire to when they begin their careers. And now, enough preamble, I'll tell you what it is, right? Tell you the exact nature of this video. So, Gilberto Ramirez, the WBA, has now ratified their previous mandatory, their previous mandate on Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol has now been officially mandated to fight Gilberto Ramirez as his next opponent. Let's be frank, that's not a fight that Dimitri Bivol wants. There's video on Dimitri Bivol. As a matter of fact, I'm going to link the video to this video. I think it's a fight hype video. Yes, it's either Eli Setback or Fight Hype, where Joel Diaz, along with one of Dimitri Bivol's handlers, they're like in a hotel or something, and the interviewer, I don't know if it's Fight Hype, I don't know if it's Eli Setback, asked him point blank about the Zurdo Ramirez, because they were talking about Boazzi and they were talking about Canelo down the line, and this guy said, hey, how about the Zurdo Ramirez? And Joel Diaz said something very revealing. I don't know if a lot of people caught that, but he said, that fight won't happen with a guy that's going to come into the ring weighing 203 pounds, referring to Zurdo Ramirez. To me, that was revealing. To me, it's proof that these guys are not all too keen on jumping in the ring with Zurdo Ramirez. I'm not saying that Bivol's afraid of him. I'm saying that he's not too keen on participating in any festivities in which Zurdo Ramirez will be invited. And so, Zurdo Ramirez is a tough out. Zurdo Ramirez comes into the ring, rehydrates. I don't know how he made 168 to begin with. He should have been at 175 to begin his career, but he was at 168, goes up to 175, and still rehydrates to over 200 pounds. This guy quite easily could fight a cruiserweight. He's a big guy. Not only that, I think he was a Mexican Olympian. He has talent. He has skill. He has a great motor. He has a really good chin. They poo-poo Zurdo Ramirez's resume, but that guy was in the ring with some really hard hitters, tough hitters. I forgot, Alexis Angulo, I think he fought him. And Alexis Angulo hit him. And I know Alexis Angulo is nobody that you're going to write home about, but he's a tough Colombian, as a lot of Colombians are, and he can hit hard. And he hit Zurdo Ramirez with some shots. And Zurdo Ramirez did not back down, did not flinch, kept coming forward. I mean, he can take a punch. That much is obvious, especially if you're going to deal with a smaller fighter, which Bivol will be. The other thing is that Zurdo Ramirez is a lefty. Zurdo Ramirez is a southpaw. Same thing, right? But nobody likes to fight southpaws, right? Especially ones with high motors and high punch volume, which Zurdo Ramirez has. He also now has a really good trainer who is bringing out the best of him. I forget the guy's name. Something. I don't know what's his, but he's the same guy that trains Chon Zepeda and Regis Prograis, and he's one of these guys that are on the come up. He's not quite at the level of Freddie Roach in them, but he in a couple of years he with a couple of champs under his belt, with a couple of champs, he's definitely going to have to start being mentioned on those respects, on the higher levels of the trainer spectrum, right? And so, so Zurdo Ramirez, after having gone through, and let me tell you, I've been a very big Zurdo Ramirez critic. I love the guy. I saw him grow up. I watched top-ranked fighters get developed. It's one of the things that I do. It's one of my enjoyments of boxing is watching prospects get developed. And I saw the job that Bruce Trampler and Goodman and all these guys did with Zurdo Ramirez, and he had some credible opponents. Abraham, he won his first 168, but from Abraham from the UK, a UK fighter who was not at his best at the point, but he took it from a champ, and then a lot of the criticism levied at Zurdo Ramirez was a lackluster resume, but guess what? The PBC had 168 locked down, just like they have 147 locked down, and Crawford suffered, and Pacquiao suffered when he was in top rank, and Zurdo Ramirez was no difference. He couldn't get his hands on the PBC's 168s at the time when he was there as a champ. They wouldn't make fights, and some people criticize him for not entering the WWS. The World Boxing the WBSS, whatever that is, the Sauerland production, where he could have fought against other 168 pounders, like I think Callum Smith or whatever. But that WBSS was nonsense. It was garbage. Eubank was there. That Callum guy was there. Arthur Abraham was there. I think that's where he finally got retired. Which is and Zurdo beat Arthur Abraham, a younger version of Arthur Abraham. So, who cares about that? And the point is that the WBSS at 168, the super middleweight version of that tournament, was nothing like the cruiserweight version of that tournament. All right. Or the flyweight version of that, or the bantamweight version of that tournament, for that matter, that produced Inoue. You had some really good names in the Inoue at the tournament. You also had the best of the best at the cruiserweight division, but in the WBSS, for super middleweight, there was no Benavidez there. There was no Zurdo Ramirez there. There was no Caleb Plant there. There was no the guy who Caleb Plant beat for that belt. And the fact of the matter is that Top Rank moved hell and high water to try to get Zurdo Ramirez these names. They even try to hijack David Benavidez. A lot of people forget about that, but they try to literally hijack David Benavidez into and force his promoter into a co-promotional deal with Top Rank. And it didn't pan out because David Benavidez got cold feet. He didn't want to go through the process after he took the money. I think it was a $250,000 from Top Rank, and then he just gave the money back and they released him. That's neither here nor there. The point is that the super middleweight version of the WBSS left a lot to be desired as far as entrants and participants to begin with. So then Top Rank goes and gets him 175 pounders, right? They went and got him a slew of and this is me being critical of Zurdo Ramirez. They went and got and locked down the light heavyweight division. Overnight, they got Beterbiev, they got Gvozdyk, that beat a Stevenson. So now they had two champs over there. Then they got Sergey Kovalev, Eleuter Alvarez, and the gang, the best of the best, over in the light heavyweight division, fighting Joe Smith Jr., fighting under the Top Rank banner, and they want to continue and build Zurdo Ramirez. They brought, I believe, that they brought that division to Zurdo to make him a superstar. They believed in Zurdo Ramirez. I think it's a loss that Top Rank still aches because he's a very likable character. He got, unfortunately, he let his wife manage his affairs, and he lost out on a $1.5 million payday against Felix Varela, that was supposed to be the supporting supporting bout to the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury rematch. Not the trilogy, the rematch. He was supposed to get that slot that ended up going to Emmanuel Navarrete, right? He passed on it. It was a $1.5 million payday for Felix Varela. That's how much Top Rank want him in the fold. But he thought that he's going to see greener pastures over at the Zone. He thought he was going to get with Eddie Hearn. He thought he was this and that and the third. And he absconded on that deal. And he suffered for about 2 years, of trying to be his own promoter and this and that and the other. Slipped into obscurity, came back, finally signed with Golden Boy Promotions, and here we are today, finally him being in a position where he can redeem that decision. Now he can correct those trials and tribulations that he's gone through. And so I find it incredible because this is what it would mean moving forward, right? What it would mean moving forward is that, let's say he capitalizes on that and he beats Dimitri Bivol, right? He beats Dimitri Bivol. Where does that put him? He beat the guy who beat Canelo Alvarez, the supposed, face of boxing. The Mexican face of boxing. Do you know what kind of position that puts Canelo Alvarez in? Canelo Alvarez, if you think that he got a lot of backlash for dropping the belt against Triple G, right? If you think that he got a lot of backlash for dropping that belt against Triple G, that he created Mexican Triple G fans. He created Mexican Triple G fans. This is Mexicans rooting for a guy from Kazakhstan because their man looked like ducked that fight. If you think that was bad, imagine what it'll be like if Canelo Alvarez does not agree to go back up to 175 and then face Zurdo Ramirez, who beat the guy who beat you. Mexican fans don't play. They do not play. Let's get that straight. A lot of people get that twisted. They don't confuse Mexican fans with Puerto Ricans. Don't confuse them with Listen, do not confuse them. Their fandom, their alliance to you, their loyalty to their fighter depends upon much, much more than just wins and losses and how big your name is and how the crowd is. And no, that's not them. You got to show cojones. You got to show a maximum amount of balls, really, for the Mexican fans to follow you. And if Canelo Alvarez would not move up, or will not move up, or chooses not to move up to face Zurdo Ramirez at 175, if having had Zurdo Ramirez beat Dimitri Bivol, trust and believe, his value will take a hit. His image will take a hit worse than what happened to him against Triple G. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. So, but I'm moving forward. I'm looking too far down the road. First things first. Zurdo Ramirez has an opportunity to change the trajectory in his entire career. His entire career in one fight, man. And the glory of this is that there will be no rematch clause unless they can come to a deal with Bivol, and Bivol says, we don't want to go to purse bid. But if it just goes straight purse bid and is a Mando, it's no rematch clause, man. It's one fight, winner literally takes all, because Zurdo Ramirez is Mexican. He beats Dimitri Bivol. Calls out Canelo. It won't be about better beef. Trust and believe it will not be about better beef. His next fight after Bivol will not be about better beef. Better beef will have to take a back seat. And listen, I love better beef. But Zurdo Ramirez having beaten Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez, you can't get any bigger than, you cannot get it. It won't get any bigger than that. You understand? It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Next level boxing talk, baby. God bless. Peace. I'm out.